You've been gone for 8 hours. You've worked through lunch. Your commute was a disaster. But the moment you open your front door, you are greeted like a returning hero. There's leaping, there's spinning, there are sounds coming out of your dog that defy easy categorization. This is love. Or is it? Well, today we're getting into the science behind the thing that probably made your whole day. Why your dog gets excited when you come home. To understand why your dog loses its mind when you come home, you first have to understand how deeply, structurally, evolutionarily weird your relationship with your dog actually is. Dogs were the first animals ever domesticated by humans. Before cattle, before horses, before chickens, before all of it. The earliest confirmed dog remains were found buried alongside a man and a woman in what is now Germany, dating back roughly 14,000 years. To put that in perspective, that's about 12,000 years before the first known recipe was written down. Dogs and humans were a team before humans had even figured out what to do with wheat. And over those thousands of years, something remarkable happened. Dogs didn't just learn to live alongside humans, they evolved at a genetic level to be tuned in to us, to read our faces, to follow our gestures, to seek out our attention in ways that even wolves, dogs' closest wild relatives, simply won't do. While wolves rarely make eye contact with humans, dogs do it constantly and instinctively as a way of communicating and connecting. In short, your dog isn't just a wolf that got used to living inside. Your dog is the result of tens of thousands of years of evolution, specifically designed to make the two of you work together. Which means when your dog is happy to see you, this is what they were built for.
People keep saying I'm just a wolf that got domesticated. I find that reductive. I am a highly evolved specialist in the field of loving you specifically.
So, what's actually happening inside your dog's head the moment you walk in? Let's talk chemistry. The key players here are dopamine and oxytocin, two neurochemicals you've probably heard of, and both of which are working overtime every time you come home. Dopamine is the brain's reward signal. It's what fires when something good is about to happen, or just happened. It's the chemical equivalent of your brain going, yes, more of that. And in dogs, seeing their owner is one of the most reliable dopamine triggers there is. Studies show that positive interactions between dogs and humans, playing, petting, just being together, produce measurable dopamine surges in the dog's brain. Your arrival isn't just nice for your dog. At a neurochemical level, it registers as a reward. Then there's oxytocin, sometimes called the love hormone, which is associated with bonding, trust, and social attachment. Research published in the journal Science by Miho Nagasawa and colleagues at Emory University found that when dogs and their owners share a long mutual gaze, both the dog's and the owner's oxytocin levels rise. The gaze itself, your dog just looking at you, kicks off a kind of hormonal feedback loop between the two of you. Scientists described it as similar in structure to the bond between a mother and infant, and it gets better. In the same study, wolves, who share a common ancestor with dogs, didn't show the same effect. This oxytocin loop appears to be something dogs developed specifically during domestication. It's a biological feature of the dog-human bond that literally doesn't exist in the wild.
When you look at me, I feel good. When I look at you, I feel good. The scientists have a name for this. I just call it Tuesday.
Here's something that might surprise you. Your dog knows you're coming home before you've even opened the door. Possibly before you've even turned onto your street. No, your dog's not psychic, but a dog's sense of smell is estimated to be somewhere between 10,000 and 100,000 times more sensitive than a human's. What that means, in practice, is that your dog lives in a world that is almost entirely constructed from scent, and you have one of the most distinctive, recognizable, emotionally significant smells in your dog's entire universe. In a landmark 2015 study from Emory University, neuroscientist Gregory Burns trained a group of dogs to lie completely still in an fMRI machine, awake and unrestrained, while being presented with different scents. The scents included their own smell, familiar dogs, unfamiliar humans, and their familiar human. The result? The part of the dog's brain that lit up most strongly, the caudate nucleus, the brain's primary reward and positive expectation center, was activated most by one scent and one scent only, their familiar human. Not the familiar dog, not the food handler who fed them every day. Your smell activated their reward center more than anything else the researchers tested. As Burns himself put it, for a dog, the scent of their person doesn't just trigger recognition. It triggers something that looks a lot like pleasure. This means that on an average workday, your dog isn't just waiting for you in some vague, undirected way. They're anticipating you, your smell, your sounds, your footsteps, and as those cues get closer, that reward signal in their brain starts to build.
You walked past a coffee shop, you sat near someone who had a sandwich, you shook hands with 4 different people, and at least one of them had a dog at home. I know everything. I know too much, honestly.
Now, let's talk about the other side of the equation. What happens while you're gone? Dogs are pack animals by nature. They evolved in groups. They lived in groups. And for most of their evolutionary history, being separated from the group was genuinely dangerous. Alone meant vulnerable. Alone meant something had gone wrong. The ASPCA notes that separation anxiety is one of the most common behavioral issues in dogs, and the symptoms can start within minutes of an owner leaving. Barking, pacing, destructive behavior, and attempts to escape are all documented responses to what is, from the dog's perspective, a stressful and unnatural situation. Research from the RSPCA suggests that up to 8 out of 10 dogs find it hard to cope when left alone, though many won't show obvious signs. Even dogs who handle alone time just fine are not, as it turns out, simply chilling. Studies using fMRI imaging have found that dogs can distinguish between different durations of separation, between 30 minutes and 2 hours, for example, and show different brain activity depending on how long their owner has been gone. They're tracking time. They're aware of the absence, and the longer you're gone, the more that absence registers, which means that when you finally do come back, the size of your dog's reaction isn't just enthusiasm. It's relief, reunion, and reward, all arriving at the same time.
The mailman came, a bird landed on the fence, a car slowed down outside, and I was like, is this it? Is this the moment? Nope. Just DoorDash bringing dinner to the neighbor. It smells like Chinese, in case you were wondering.
Here's a thing worth sitting with. This whole reaction isn't one-sided. When your dog gazes at you and triggers that oxytocin loop, it goes both ways. Research shows that humans experience measurable increases in oxytocin from interacting with their dogs too. Petting a dog releases serotonin and dopamine in the human brain as well. Scientists have documented reductions in cortisol, the stress hormone, in people who spend as little as 10 minutes with a dog. In other words, your dog's homecoming reaction isn't just them being happy to see you. It's a mutual chemical event. You walk through the door, depleted from your day, and within seconds you are being chemically reminded that you are loved. Not in a vague, abstract way, but in the most literal neurobiological sense of the word. Tens of thousands of years of shared evolution, a bond that predates agriculture, cities, and written language, a brain built specifically to light up at the smell of you. And it all fits in one small dog who cannot stop spinning in circles by the door.
I don't know what a hard day is. I don't have hard days. I have waiting, and then I have you. That math has always worked out fine for me.
15,000 years of evolution, a brain built specifically to light up at the smell of you, and they still act like every single day is the best day of their life. Honestly, same. Drop your dog's homecoming routine in the comment, and please like and subscribe to the Doggomentary channel.